What kind of technology do you use every day and how much of it do you use?
I barely use technology.
Every day is like my cell phone, probably 100 times every hour.
My BlackBerry, my laptop, definitely.
I use the cell phone, I use the microwave, mostly the microwave because I like to eat.
I really just use the computer, my phone, my iPod, some video games, TV.
My iPod I use in my car, so every time I'm driving I have my iPod.
Definitely my iPod. It's hooked up to my car and I listen to it every time I'm driving.
The only really thing I use every day is a phone. I probably use it every 5 minutes, I'd say.
Phone, definitely.
My phone, throughout the whole day.
My cell phone every 50 seconds.
I use a cell phone all the time.
I use the alarm to wake me up and to talk to Eric.
I get 4 hours of sleep, and that's when I don't use my phone.
Of course, the cell phone I use every day.
I use my cell phone during school and stuff.
The big one is definitely my cell phone. I use that basically every hour on the hour.
BlackBerry and laptop at least 20 times a day.
My iPhone, my iPad also, because I love that.
Phone, computer, iPod.
Is there any other ways of technology you use, like Facebook or?
Yeah, Facebook, that's all on my phone, my BlackBerry, everything.
My laptop is a big one because I use that to check Facebook a lot.
The computer and everything else is kind of on a weekly basis.
I use the internet a lot. I use it every day for Facebook and iTunes.
I use my laptop 3 times a day.
I use the computer every day, not for Facebook or anything, but just for school and stuff.
iPod, and I use it 24/7 and because I have Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and I text with it too sometimes.
My camera, I bring my camera a lot of places.
I have an electric razor for my face that I use every morning.
You could say I watch TV a little bit. I don't do video games though.
A lot of internet usage, telephone, stay up to date, stay connected to the world.
I don't know about you, but if I didn't have my cell phone, I would die. Okay, I know it's an exaggeration, but sometimes it feels that way, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean, Kristen. Sometimes when you lose your cell phone privileges or texting, you feel completely cut off from the world.
Even losing cell phone or internet connection in low service areas can seem like the end of life as we know it. And we can feel uneasy until those bars show up again, or we hear the tones of our computer reconnecting.
So what drives this constant need for connection and entertainment through technology?
Does this make us less sensitive to spending face-to-face time with other people, add stress and pressure to our lives, or is it something we really need to have?
Look around you. How much technology is actually in your life?
What if you gave up technology for a whole week? Does the thought make you break into a cold sweat?
Going cold turkey. A week without technology. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi everyone, I'm Abe.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is Real Faith TV. Most of the teens on the street certainly had their share of technology dependence.
We'll talk to them more in a few minutes, as well as meet our studio guests.
But first, let's meet our spotlight guest, Josh, a film student at Temple University in Philadelphia.
He'll share with us the types of technology he uses and how often.
He'll also share his thoughts on some of the benefits of modern communication tools.
Let's meet him now.
Texting, probably at least a half hour a day. Facebook, I don't use that often, probably 15 minutes a day, if that. But I am on my computer a lot, just doing work and working on projects and everything. It's not mindless browsing the web. I don't really watch TV very much. Sometimes I'll watch stuff online, I have a Netflix account. I usually try to limit myself on the computer. Just with the way the school's set up now and how work is, a lot of your stuff is on the computer. So if you don't have access to a computer, you're kind of in trouble with classes and getting in contact with teachers and projects you have to do and assignments. I would say that there are some important aspects of technology. I mean, the speed of communication is great, especially if you're trying to get a group together, and it is nice to practically have that person right there with their phone. Most of the time, if I call their cell phone, I expect them to be there, or they'll at least get my message in the very near future. For me, I like being connected as to what's going on. If I'm here, I like to know if my friends are back home from college. But as far as trying to build personal relationships with people, I don't think technology is really that necessary, other than setting up a date with someone. I think one of the benefits of a more impersonal ways of communicating is people are less afraid to speak their minds, especially on a forum or a blog or something like that. They can just be a faceless entity. A lot of times, younger generations feel, they feel intimidated by older individuals or adults and feel like they can't really contribute to the conversation. but that internet just kind of evens the playing field as to who the audience is, who can participate.
Yeah, I agree with what he said about like technology can be good for getting like groups of people together and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Communication is a lot faster nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see what our studio guests have to say about this topic.
Okay, they are Justin, Flo, Justin, Danielle, Colette, Mike, and Caitlin.
So what types of technology do you use, and how important is it in your everyday life?
Definitely the computer. I use it all night, and then I'm up till like 2 in the morning, and just...
Yeah, the computer is great for school too.
Yeah.
I think it's really important too for staying in touch with people. Like with Facebook, you're able to keep in touch with people who might be hours and hours away from you. Like I'm going to college soon, so it's going to be a good way for me to keep in touch with my friends.
I definitely use my cell phone and my computer every day. I'm on Facebook every day. It's really bad.
Yeah, me too. Like with my cell phone, if I didn't have it, I probably wouldn't be able to wake up in the morning. Like I have to have an alarm or like have a schedule in my phone, like so I know what I'm doing for the day.
Yeah, same here. I use my calendar, my alarm clock, and then just to contact people. And also like email. I always check my email a lot because I get a lot of emails. So it's a good way of communication.
Yeah, definitely. I recently started playing video games again lately. That's one thing that I've been doing a lot. But yeah, I use my cell phone and Facebook mostly just to stay connected with people. Like I'll be on Facebook like every 3 days, you know, checking things. But the video games thing, I gotta stop that.
There are good as well as not so great things that technology can bring, as we know.
Too much computer time can make people isolated and unsocial.
But on the other hand, the kind of information you can find about a subject for a school project is endless.
Sleep cycles are interrupted by iPods and televisions that continue playing after we fall asleep, resulting in lack of sleep and affecting our behavior.
And it can be challenging to finish homework assignments when there's a steady stream of instant messages popping up.
With technology so integrated in our daily lives and routines, could we survive just a week without it?
That's what we asked the teens on the street.
Let's check it out.
I would never be able to survive a weekend without technology. I needed Facebook to see how my friends are doing.
I think that would be really hard.
Definitely.
I don't know, I'd probably roam the woods for a while.
I would just be lost without it.
I probably wouldn't be able to survive without it.
I've grown so accustomed to it that I honestly wouldn't know what to do without it, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a Boy Scout, so I've spent multiple weeks away. There's other stuff to fill your time. When you don't have stuff to do every 5 seconds, you kind of gain patience and realize that it's not so hard.
I think I may be able to go an entire week without technology, but I think I may go crazy also.
I think I could try to survive an entire week, but it'd be really hard without my phone.
No. No.
No.
Not at all.
It'd be pretty difficult to do that, and I'd probably spend my time reading books or something like that.
Exercising more, maybe studying if I really had to.
It'll probably be hard, but I mean, if I just get like a board game or go on an adventure, like if I went camping, that'd be so cool. I could probably do it.
All the time I go out to my grandparents' cabin and we have no electricity or electronics, so.
Yeah, I can. I've done it before when I was grounded and stuff. No, not at all.
What would the week be like if you had no technology?
Miserable, boring. It would be really, really hard, but I think it would make me have to actually meet up with people and talk to people in person.
I would love to try it. I could definitely do it though. It's just my friends. I know my friends wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to survive a week without technology. That's a little too hard. Unless I like went on a retreat or something, you know, for a week where, you know, you're supposed to be away from things, I could probably do that. But just on a regular living at home, I can just stop using my cell phone. So what about you? Would you be willing to go a week without technology?
I think I could. I mean, it's a big influence in my life, but I know like it's just their material possessions, so it's not like I need them all the time. So.
Yeah, I could definitely try, but having it all around me, I give into temptation.
Yeah, if you go away, I think it would be easier when you're like totally isolated from all of it.
Yeah. Like for me, I went away on vacation for a month and I didn't use any technology because I didn't bring it with me. But like if I'm grounded here, my parents don't take my iPod, like I'm sitting there like watching movies and like videos all day. So.
I think I could see it for things that are just meant for like entertainment. Like I could stay away from like television and computer, but when it came to like cell phone, keeping in touch with my family, like letting my parents know where I was, or if I had to ask someone a question, like those things you really take it for granted because you want to have it all the time.
It'd be like a really nice break to just get away from all the technology, but like we're so accustomed to just like texting our friends or just on Facebook all the time, so it might be difficult for the change.
The challenge is to actually do it. Spend 1 week unplugged.
Tell your friends and family first so they don't get worried.
Maybe get your friends and family on board to support your experiment.
Change the outgoing message on your phone and your status on Facebook so people know you won't be checking in. And turn them off. Summer might be the best time to try this.
Unplug your computer and console games and go green for the week.
Ask your family to help you by giving up television. Really make an effort.
That's what our Spotlight guest Josh does when he vacations with his family every summer and when he goes on retreats with his youth ministry.
Let's go back to him now, where he discusses some of the more impersonal aspects of today's technology.
And how he deals without shutting down and disconnecting when going on vacations and trips.
I think technology can really take away from personal aspects of a conversation. Like sarcasm is really difficult to pick up. There's facial expressions, there's like emotion in the voice and your tone and your volume. That is taken away a lot by text messaging and like chats. The vacation home where we'd go in the summer for like our family reunion, there was no internet, there was no TV, no computers, like limited cell phone signal, so we really wouldn't use our cell phones at all. With my old youth group, my pastor was really into going out and doing camping, so we're helping out at different ministries that were sort of like wilderness camps. There was no cell phones, there was no TV, there was no computers. I got used to it. I had like other people around me. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. For the youth retreats and the family reunions, it wasn't really my choice, but afterwards, I kind of enjoyed it more. Like this year is the first year we're not going to that vacation home. We're actually going to a place where we will have lots of TVs, Wi-Fi, computers, and everything. I'm a little disappointed that we're going to have all that because we get a lot of family bonding experiences without all that there.
So what are some ways you could utilize your time without technology?
I would definitely go outside more, maybe see the sun once in a while.
Yeah, I definitely also think that people could read more because it's like you get so used to just watching everything on TV, you get kind of lazy to actually like pick up a book and read.
Yeah, I try and just like go outside, exercise, just because I'm used to just sitting in my room watching TV on the computer, so it'd be nice to actually get fresh air.
If I had a week without technology, I would just spend my time, wake up early and go to the gym. Instead of going on the computer till like noon and like wasting the day, I would wake up early and exercise. And
I know when I pick up a great book, I just shut my phone off. I'm alone with the book for like hours. I can read forever. It's nice. It's a nice feeling.
Or you could spend quality time with family that technology had taken away from you.
I know in my time without technology, I'd probably work out like you said, because like most of the time I just stay at home, watch TV, like eat or something. And then when soccer comes around, I'm out of shape and just horrendous.
If you guys ever want to, you turn off your cell phones, turn off your computers, and just pray for an hour, you know, something simple like that.
Yeah, I know for me when I go away on vacation, I don't have like internet access or my phone or anything, and the days just seem so much longer, and it makes you realize if I turned that stuff off when I was at home, I would be able to fill the day with so many more activities like reading and exercising and like so much other stuff.
Yeah, there are endless ways to spend time without technology. But it's important to recognize that technology is not a bad thing. It can be really great.
But too much of anything is unhealthy, and by spending a little time away from technology, you might just discover something great you've been missing.
Next, we asked the teens on the street what they miss out on when they are occupied with too much technology.
Let's hear what they had to say.
Is there anything you miss out on because you spend too much time on the computer, phone, or video game system?
I might miss out on like social activities with people, like parties or something.
I don't spend too much time on my computer, my phone, or my iPod. I try to go out, I try to exercise and make sure I do well in school.
Yeah, I used to go out hiking a lot with my parents.
Probably just like actually going outside, like enjoying the weather. Spending time with my family.
Hanging out more.
Life.
Is there anything you miss out on because you spend too much time on the phone or video game system?
No.
No.
No, I don't.
I try to like, you know, get out there as much as I can, but I do spend a lot of time on the computer.
I never miss out on parties or anything because I get the text and I go.
I feel like I would miss out on like exercise and like help my dad out in the yard or something.
Yeah, I used to spend so much time playing video games that I didn't go out and chill. I kind of fixed that over the last year, and I've actually not picked up a Xbox controller in at least 2 months now.
I definitely miss out on talking to like my family and stuff. They're all in the living room while I'm in my room on my laptop.
Sometimes I forget to appreciate like hanging out outside with friends instead of just like playing video games or something like that.
When I'm busy on the phone or computer talking to people, I could be in person hanging out with those people, such as parties, get-togethers and stuff like that. Sports, exercise, all that, as you can see. I'm missing out, so yeah, it takes you away from a lot.
How has your use of technology been a strain on your faith life?
Well, for me, I know that I probably would rather sit down and like watch TV than sit down for an hour and just pray or read my Bible.
If I'm like texting and someone, I get like a message and then I'll fall asleep like after like texting someone and not making time to just like talk to God and just like lay down and actually like think about my day and like talk my day over with God and things like that.
Yeah, like Justin said, I'm usually on the computer by like 12 o'clock at night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get to bed, and then I go to bed and I'm so tired that I just fall asleep right away without even praying to God or anything like that.
I think with like technology, sometimes you get so wrapped up in it. Like if I'm on Facebook, like I'll waste like an hour away, and so I really don't get time to like self-reflect, see how I'm like developing as a person. So you get like kind of one-track mind, and it's kind of hard to get out of that.
Also on the internet, there's lots of, you know, like on videos and stuff like that, songs and stuff, there's a lot of people like spreading things that are negative towards our faith, and so we just have to be careful about like things that we watch and things that we view, and you know, always practice what our faith has taught us.
I'm always on my iPod, so I downloaded the Bible as an app, so when I'm like tempted to play games or whatever, I can see, oh, I have the Bible to touch my fingertips, maybe I'll read God's word for a while. And I try to use technology like maybe to converse with other people about God, to make fellowship, like join groups on Facebook, to learn more about my faith. I try to use it in a positive way and like turn that into like a faith experience instead of just like wasting time.
You know, we're all the generation of technology. Ever since we're born, all things have been coming out. With the technology, you know, comes the instant messages and all the instantaneous gratification, and we've become the impatient generation also. The loud generation, like everything is noisy and it sort of creates a fog around us. So, you know, sometimes we have to take all the noise and all the impatience out of our lives to really realize what God truly wants for us.
When life is full of noise and busyness, flashing colors and tidbits of information, we can forget what God asks of us, like in Psalm 46. Be still and know that I am God.
We can forget in the high-speed lives we live that we were created to be for God and others.
That our value does not consist in what we do, but rather comes from who we are.
If we're consumed each day with doing, we might just miss who God wants us to be.
Next, Josh talks to us about how going without technology has helped to deepen his faith and build a stronger relationship with God.
Let's hear him now.
Going a week without technology, it helped me to slow down more. My faith requires a peace and some solitude from it all. It's okay to just take a break and not need to do something right away. You don't need to have every minute of every day booked for something. You don't need to be in constant communication with the world. There are times where I've totally blown off God because of technology, because I need to set up an appointment with someone or get a meeting together, and I'm focused on just all the people around me. When I turned off all the technology and noise in my life, I did have more spiritually uplifting experiences. I feel like I hear God more when it's quiet, and I can understand things better that I'm reading because my mind's not wondering what's making this and that sound. Going without technology, I feel did help my relationship with God because it gave me more chance to reflect on stuff. I learned that God is a God of quietness. It's like Elijah when there was like a fire and a flood and an earthquake and God came in the whisper. I definitely did see God's presence in my life more when technology was away from me, just in the silence of everything. When silence is there, I feel like I could just wait and I have all the time in the world to just listen for his answer.
So how is stillness and quietness necessary for you in the time that you spend with God?
If I'm listening to my iPod, I might even just pray with my iPod in, but I'm not really paying attention to what I'm saying to God or thinking about the things I should reflect on during my day that I need to talk to him about.
I find for me one of the best ways that I like to pray is in adoration with the Eucharist, and that I just find that it's that stillness and that peace that surrounds it is just so important to just helping you to listen to what God's trying to say to you. And you can't get that kind of connection with God if like there's all these distractions around you. It doesn't work like that. It's like you have to just like take that time and find that peace.
I know for me, I have a really busy life, and like I live on a main road, so it's always so loud near my house. So like sometimes I just need to step out and, you know, take the time with God, like out in my backyard where it's a little bit more quieter.
Next, we asked the teens on the street if they felt technology impacted the time they spent with God.
And if there are other activities they would get involved with if they weren't so wrapped up in technology.
Let's hear them now.
I think technology can definitely influence and get you away from your faith in God, because there's so many different aspects on the internet that you can learn about, and it can steer you away from what you believe in.
Maybe I'm so focused on all this like stuff that goes on in the world that I don't really focus on God and like pray to Him.
You know, I do bring my cell phone to church, and if someone texts me, you know, don't tell anyone, but sometimes I text them back, so I guess that's not very good, and God wouldn't like that.
For me, sometimes it stops me from reading the Bible.
I don't think it distracts you because like there are apps in the iPod for like Bible and religious purposes.
I still go to church every Sunday and pray and everything.
I guess you can't text God, so I don't really know.
If you're busy on technology, that takes away from all your time to worship, you get what I'm saying? You're so sidetracked that you don't even pay attention to your faith at all.
You may be in church and one of your friends or many of your friends send you a couple text messages and you just want to look at it and you want to pay attention to what's happening during the service/mass. So that might interrupt with your faith.
Are there activities in your faith that you might get more involved in if you were not so caught up with technology today?
Maybe more involved in my church.
My religion is definitely big on community service, and if technology wasn't so big, I would probably be doing more of that because I have more time.
Maybe I could volunteer more. I like to volunteer, so that's one thing I could do.
I'd probably go join one of the youth groups, maybe, instead of like Facebook, like connecting with people on Facebook. I might join the choir, you know.
Probably not. I mean, I was a Girl Scout for like forever, and I'm pretty involved in my church.
Oh, I'll probably attend more of the youth groups if I wasn't caught up with technology, because they have a lot of stuff during the week, but usually during the week I'm either doing homework and using the internet or just texting or talking on the phone, so that distracts me a lot.
Finally, Josh discusses how some of his friends might handle a week without technology.
And how he has been able to strengthen personal relationships and even his prayer life every time he has gone without technology.
Some of my friends, if they were to go a week without technology, I feel they would be just miserable and complaining about it a lot. Some people I know that I do occasionally have just like conversations with, and we're away from like our cell phones and stuff, they wouldn't mind it, they'd find it really relaxing. But other people, I think, especially people who are heavy Facebook users, I think that they would hate not knowing what everyone else is doing, like what their friend like 2 hours away is doing. A lot of the younger generation especially, they're coming to just rely on that as their main source of communicating, like texting and Facebook chat. I'm just really crossing my fingers that communication won't keep going on this decline towards this impersonal way of talking to someone, and it'd be more of just setting aside time, just have face-to-face conversation with someone, getting to know them better. I feel like those are the healthiest relationships, the ones that you spend with someone on a more personal level than over the internet. I think just about every time I've gone without technology, I have strengthened a relationship with someone. I either learn something about someone, or they learn something about me, or we just become closer individuals in one way or another. If I had advice for someone on how to do this, I'd probably say time management is key, and for me, I try to go to bed earlier and get up early. In the morning, I can have time for God and just get that done first so I can reflect on it the rest of the day. I believe I did spend more time in prayer when I was away from technology, especially when I was away from my cell phone, because I couldn't see the time, so I could just spend however long. If I had prayers on my mind or just thoughts, I could just keep going and going.
I think the road to decreasing your time in technology isn't like an easy thing, and there's been a study that says if you do something for 30 days, it becomes a habit. And definitely technology for us has become a habit, and it's hard to break habits, but especially after hearing what Josh had to say. And we all know that when we do spend time away from technology, there's so many good benefits. So I think if we use it as like a driving force and we really push ourselves to make less technology a habit instead of more technology, we can really like accomplish something really good.
I think the key is to find moderation. You know, it's not something that should be used all the time, but if you use it in the right amounts, then it can be something really great. And when you do use it, like Kristen was saying before, you know, try to use it for positive ways too, to strengthen your faith life, or like post Bible quotes as your Facebook status, or try to like spread around like kind or inspirational messages to people and use it to be uplifting rather than to break people down.
Just like both Kristen and Caitlin said, I mean, if you limit the time you spend each day, you'll find more and more things that you'll like. You'll find better like hobbies that you like to do. Maybe you like pick up an instrument and you'll realize that maybe you'll like painting. If you try different things rather than always going on the computer, maybe you might find something that you like more.
I think that it would be so beneficial if we just took out how much time we spend using technology, because time that's wasted you'll never get back, and it's just wasting your life away.
It's a challenge in this century to go cold turkey and just shut everything down.
Maybe on a first attempt, many of us wouldn't last more than a couple days.
But perhaps you might have an experience that was totally worth a week's worth of voicemail messages and missed text.
So are you willing to go a week without technology?
Tell us about your experience.
Contact us at realfaithtv.com.
Or share your thoughts with us on Twitter.
After you turn your computer off for a week. And we'll leave you today with this final thought.
Don't let technology get in the way of your relationship with God.
Turn off your cell phone, walk away from your computer.
Be still and listen to God speak to you in the quiet.
Mercy Me, the contemporary Christian group, reminds us of this in their song, Word of God Speak.
Word of God speak, would you pour down like rain?
Washing my eyes to see your majesty.
To be still and know that you're in this place.
Please let me stay and rest in your holiness.
Word of God speak.
So turn the volume down on the technology in your life.
And turn the volume way up on the voice of God in your life.
You won't regret it.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on
Real Faith TV. God bless.